Only reason it got a little bit of grinding right there was because the road speed and the RPMs did not match. If you match them, you never have to worry about the gears grinding at all. When they match, it'll just fall right out of gear. Upside. A shift is always two motions. One out and the other one right back in. It's never one continuous motion. It's always two motions. One out, the other one right back in. Downshifting is the same thing. All you got to make sure you find is the right shifting range for the gear that you're in. Right now, I'm in 8th gear, I believe. So now, I'm gonna put it in the clutch because it's not falling out. So I'm gonna use the clutch. And I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas, and now we're in 7. Now we're in 6. 5, 4, 3, 2. See, I just fell out of gear. I only have my foot on the clutch right now. It's just going in and out of gear on its own. That's some of the basics that you got to keep in mind when you're shifting. Match the RPMs and the road speed, and if you do that properly, the truck will fall out of gear and back into gear. And it's always two motions. One motion out of gear, one motion in gear. If you let too much time lapse in between taking it out of gear and putting it back in the other gear, like I did just now, they're not gonna match the RPMs and the road speed. That's why you give it some gas. And once you give it some gas and get the RPMs at the right point, it'll fall right back in the next gear. So once you understand that you're actually shifting with the RPMs, then you can throw the clutch in and you can do the double clutch. I'm gonna do the clutch, I'm gonna clutch in, take the truck out of gear, and I'm gonna clutch in and put the truck back in gear. Clutch out, rev it up, clutch in, back in gear. Because I'm really only using the RPMs and the road speed to shift anyway. The clutch allows you to take the truck out of gear or put it back in gear at any, even if the RPMs and road speed don't match for the most part. Not really. But you'll still get grinding even though you use the clutch if the RPMs and road speed don't match properly. So you still gotta match the RPMs and the road speed properly. Once you do it so many times, you're really just doing it by listening. That's really what you're listening for. So now I'm a downshift. Right now I'm in 9th gear. My RPMs is at 1,000. I'm gonna let my RPMs get down to about 800. I'm gonna give it just a tad bit of gas and it's gonna fall right out of gear. I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas and it's gonna go right back in gear. Double clutch. But once you understand that you really, and for the people that's watching this right now, you're not supposed to sit here at the light in no gear. This is not I'm not a CDL trainer, all right? So keep that in mind. I'm just a guy that's riding around right now today with my wife on the camera and my son in the passenger seat, and I'm nice enough to have my wife recording while I'm shifting. So I don't want to hear nobody down in the comments talking about why you got the gear, why you got the truck in no gear at the light. That's because when you out here driving for real, you can do that. This is not actual CDL training. I'm a double clutch. When you get out on the road, really, you're not going to be double clutching. Why does the DMV have you double clutch to pass your CDL test? Because you need to prove to them that you know how to use a clutch. So they have you double clutch. But when you get out on the road, really, you're not going to be double clutching. You're probably just going to be floating gears, which is exactly what I'm doing here for the most part. See how I was able to do that? Just throw the truck in every gear like that? That's because the RPMs and the road speed match. You can do that as long as they match. All you need to know is the shifting range for your truck. 1400 RPMs, I'm listening at the motor. If I let up off this gas right now, the truck just fell out of gear. Now right now, the RPMs and the road speed don't match, so it's not gonna go back in gear. So I give it a little bit of gas, and it falls right in gear when it gets to the right RPMs. You don't have to force it. You shouldn't have to force it out of gear or in gear. Only time you might have to do that is when you're on an incline or a decline, or maybe when you're loaded, when you're putting pressure on the drivetrain. That's the only time that you're gonna probably have to use the clutch, other than take it off from the light. Once you get out on the road for real, once you get out of CDL school. You on camera digging up your nose. You weren't actually digging up your nose, you were scratching your lip, right? Gotcha. Double clutch. RPMs up at 1500, clutch out, clutch in. It's a complicated motion to double clutch because you got to clutch, pull the truck out of gear, and because so much time is elapsing between the gear shift when you double clutch, that's why you got to rev it back up to be able to clutch and put it back in gear. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah, that's why I like driving a truck, because we're bigger than everybody, and everybody gets out of our way normally. One motion out of gear, one motion back in gear. Alright, Maurice, put it in 10th gear. That's it. Show these people on the camera you can shift better than some of them. Ready? Alright, straight back, 2 motions. There you go, man. Good job. Good job. Alright, do the cut, baby.